Good evening, all.
राकेश तू म्यूट झालाय.
Yes, sir. Miss केलं होतं.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, all. Welcome for this webinar on how to build data dashboard for MIS, for which we have our local speaker, CA Makarand Mahadeokar, sir. Before proceeding further, I request all the members to rise for ICI motto.
सुप्तेषु जागृति येष सुप्तेषु जागृति कामं 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 पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तदेव शुक्रदब्रह्मा तदब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता
Thank you all. Now I request branch chairman CA Rajendra Shete sir to give his opening remarks.
Thank you, Rakesh ji. Today's speaker, CA Makarand Mahadeokar sir, our chairman, my office bearers, committee members, seniors in profession, my professional brothers and sisters, good afternoon and warm welcome to you on this special webinar, how to build a data dashboard for MIS. Today we are fortunate enough that we are going to interact with very experienced and knowledgeable faculty from our own branch, CA Makarand Mahadeokar sir. I welcome Mahadeokar sir on behalf of Nashik branch of WRC. Now I request CA Sanjeevan Tambulwadikar to introduce sir.
Thank you very much, sir. It's a privilege to introduce Mahadeokar sir. He is a fellow chartered accountant and also a graduate cost and works accountant with more than 28 years of experience in professional practice, being a partner in Mahadeokar and RD Chartered Accountants, Nashik. His major areas of practice are financial planning, cash forecasting, taxation services, attest control, outsourced CFO services, and MIS design. He also provides IT-enabled services like setting up of accounting in standard and customized software, business process consulting, implementation of ERPs, and much more. He, being a part of many business ventures, he has promoted a software company in the year 1995 and sold the same in 2008. Promoted an engineering company engaged in the business of automation. Recently entered into a JV with Strama MPS, a German company. He is mentoring many startups with Sign Incubation Center of IIT Mumbai. He has been involved in many other professional activities, like he's a member of Regional Direct Tax Advisory Committee of CBDT for Nashik region, member of Advisory Committee of National Judiciary Reference System of CBDT. He has also been a member of the Committee of Information Technology of WRC of ICI, Committee of Implementation of IND-AR, IND-AS, and also a member of Study Group of Direct Taxes Committee of ICI New Delhi. He was a treasurer of the Central Hindu Military Education Society in Nashik, apex body running various education institutes like Bhusla Military School, College, and many more. And one more, needless to say, he is a managing a non-CP study circle, namely Trimbak Study Circle in Nashik, for more than a decade. With this short introduction, I request him to take up the session.
Yes, sir. Madhukar, sir, over to you. सर अनम्यूट करा ना आधी. अनम्यूट नाहीये तुम्ही. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we are here.
Thank you, Sanjeevan, for those kind words. And I also thank Rajendra Shete, Chairman of Nashik branch, for allowing me to share my whatever you call knowledge, information, or wisdom with a member of our branch. Friends, I don't know whether this particular subject is appropriate from the CP seminar point of view. That's what my personal feeling is. That's why yesterday I circulated one form, Google form, just to understand the perspective of our member, and so that I can do the coverage of today's webinar. Though we call it as webinar, but I personally think it should be a kind.
हॅलो सर, आपला आवाज ब्रेक होतोय. मला वाटतं तुम्ही व्हिडिओ ऑफ करून बोललात तर कदाचित प्रॉपर आवाज येईल.
Sorry for that disturbance. I think there is a problem with the connectivity. So I hope the screen is visible. Though I am not visible, I think.
Yes, sir. It is clear. Screen is clear. No problem.
Okay. Okay. So I was talking. I was very doubtful whether this should be a webinar, because I personally feel this should be a kind of workshop, and fitting the entire topic in a period of 2 hours will be a bit challenging for me. But somehow I have tried to make it so concise that I'm sure at the end of this session, most of you will be in a position to design a dashboard on your own. That's what my objective is, prime objective is. So just to start off with, yesterday I circulated one form just to have an idea what is the perspective of our members on the dashboard. And I was happy and surprised to see that these particular results are very interesting. And this is the screen which is self-explanatory, and if you see the result, interestingly, say around 37.8% members who voted are involved in designing MIS for that their clients. That means majority people are still not considering this particular area of practice as either not so interesting or not so aware about. So on this particular background, I decided to have a basic presentation giving you some sort of insight into the concept of database, data dashboard, and then we will straight away jump on to the workshop, that is how to build a dashboard. So now I am going to show you one basic presentation which talks about the dashboard. Now, when you talk about the dashboard, the concept of dashboard is borrowed from the dashboard what we normally see in a car, where you can see how a car is actually performing, and you as a driver can actually looking at the dashboard can control the car and driving itself. So with this particular concept, if you are a businessman or if you are wanting to have some sort of insight to your business, then can we design some sort of a report or a dashboard which can continuously give image or a report on a real-time basis. So this is the concept of dashboard, and if we want to use this particular concept for our day-to-day business or day-to-day business of our clients, then the first question that may come in the minds of our client is, does it really make sense for my organization to use a dashboard? And there our role come into picture. So for example, if we are doing some sort of internal audit or a statutory audit, then naturally we have a complete insight to the data of our client. Gone are those days when we used to depend largely on the sampling of the data, because now because of the computerization, the entire data is available at our disposal, which we can analyze and decide the scope of our audit. Now, when you have a complete insight to the data, when you have access to the data, why not to make use of that data for both, for the purpose of eliminating the risk relating to audit and for adding some value to our client's business. And that is the, in my opinion, main purpose of we as a professional getting involved in this subject of dashboard. Now, if you see the importance of dashboard and what is the difference between the report what we submit to our client. Say, for example, if we are internal auditor, then we are submitting reports at a particular interval, say monthly or quarterly or something like that. Then if you can add a flair of dashboard to that report, then probably the value of that particular report may be enriched. And not just that, you can create some sort of perception in the mind of our clients or your clients that it is not just a report for the sake of it, and it is really adding value to our business. The main thing here in case of dashboard is it is a real time. Means what? When we submit a report, it is as on particular date, and it may not actually give the real-time picture of the business. Here, in case of dashboard, the concept itself says it's a real time. As you drive the business, the dashboard keeps on giving you signals based on which you can take a decision related to business. So your objective is not just to submit the report, but help that particular entrepreneur, help that particular businessman to drive his business, to give him some hidden insight to his data. Now there is some theoretical part which I would like to skip, because I'm going to share this particular PPT with you. So all that benefits and cost, everyone is agreed, because from the yesterday's form, most of the people have agreed, most of the members have agreed that MIS is going to play a crucial role in the business. So I will probably skip some of the slides, and straightway, what are the basic types of dashboards? For example, if you want to design a dashboard, then you have basically three areas with which you can design those dashboards. The first area is the operational area. Say, for example, you can have a dashboard for the data which is generated in that organization relating to day-to-day operations. Say, for example, what is the number of products which are produced, or what is the process involved, understanding that process, what are the steps, what is the quality. So all production related data or all sales related data. So in a way, all functional operational data can be mapped into a particular report, which can be used with the help of dashboard. Then there can be some analytical dashboards which helps that organization to take some future decision based on the data available in the system. In absence of these kind of dashboards, either manager or the management or the owner will have to actually spend a lot of time in analyzing that particular data. So instead of spending a lot of time in analyzing data, if dashboards are made available, analytical dashboards are made available, then it is a time-saving exercise, and also it will add a great value in terms of time and information to that. And then there can be some strategic dashboards which again help the owner to decide what are the performance indicators of the management team, and based on that particular performance indicator, whether a functional manager or functional head can be rewarded, or any change is required, strategic change is required in the policy, or if some geography, additional geography is required to be covered by the business. So all sort of strategical decisions can be based on the performance indicators which are set and reflected on this type of dashboard. So there are basically three types of dashboards: operational, analytical, and strategic. Now, when you want to prepare a dashboard, what actually you have to consider? Basically, you have to consider what are those measurable areas, what are those measurable parameters which I want to incorporate in the dashboard. So before you start preparing for the dashboard, before you start designing the dashboard, if it is possible for you, or it is better for you to list those ideas which you can incorporate in the dashboard. Then you can design, you can imagine the design. Then you can also think for whom you are creating a dashboard, because once you have dashboard based on the purpose for which you are designing this dashboard, you can actually design that. Means if your use is just to create some sort of visibility, then you need to have a different kind of dashboard. And if you want to, in addition to visibility, want to communicate, want to inform the data, some usable data to the operations team, then you need to design that particular dashboard differently. Then you have to consider what is the frequency of that particular dashboard which you want to decide. Since it is real time, you can actually configure that dashboard so that instead of real time, some people may see real time, some people may see that particular report after certain time periods, say for example every week or every month or something like that. And then what data you want to incorporate in this particular dashboard. So these are those important things which you are to consider while designing the dashboard. Then once you decide which are the parameters which you want to incorporate, then you have to actually create a story which will help you in actually end result. And that particular process is called a storyboarding process. Means what? Which are those particular parameters, 4 5 parameters? So let us spot those parameters. Then how you want to make a how you want to present those parameters in what sort of form, whether what type of chart you want to incorporate, and then you can add some flavor relating to design and the visibility of that particular report. So it's a kind of story, building a story. And before you actually start, you have to be very careful whether the data which you are going to use is a genuine, real, and free from all errors, and whether it is consistent in line with the objective for which the database is prepared. Here, if you look at the current scenario, most of the people are now talking about the data analysis and the business intelligence, artificial intelligence, etc., etc. But if you ask them, most of the time they spend even today on organizing and cleaning the data, and that is the biggest challenge. Though this particular job looks very attractive, there is a lot of pain going on in cleaning and organizing the data, and itself can be a separate subject of workshop. So how to clean the data. But let us assume here that we have a clean organized data so that we can design the dashboard using different available tools in the market. Now let us see which are the database tools, standard tools available in the market. And here I have listed few tools. The very important and very popular tool is the Power BI tool. It has got two different versions. One is the desktop version and second is the online version. Apart from that, there is another tool which is called Tableau. Again, this is very popular one and very old, and I would say the first dashboard tool available is the Zoho Analytics. Earlier, its name was Zoho Report, which is now changed to Zoho Analytics, and which is very not so popular but very powerful tool. And just to identify the power of that particular tool, I would like to showcase the recent data which is which I have used for creating the database. And here now you just have a look at this. This is the COVID data which is getting loaded. Now this is the dashboard which is designed getting a real-time data published by different governments. This is the global data and this is the dashboard. Now you just imagine how powerful that dashboard is. Now here you can have the complete insight to this COVID data. You can select the country. For example, let us select here India, and the whole statistics will change. And this is the beauty of dashboard. Now here, once you select the country, then you can actually hover around this particular dashboard and have the dynamic figures relating to the subject. So just to give you the idea how powerful this data dashboard can be, I have shown you this dashboard relating to COVID database. This is designed using Zoho Analytics, and not very popular tool, but very interesting and, in my opinion, a very powerful tool compared to other tools available in the market. Now, apart from Power BI, Tableau, and Zoho Analytics, I have today decided to concentrate on Google Data Studio. Why I decided to use Google Data Studio? Because it is very user friendly and very simple to use. And most interestingly and most importantly, this is available free of cost. You don't have to pay anything. For all other products, like say Power BI, Tableau, and Zoho, you need to be subscriber to that particular service, or you need to buy that particular service. But Google Data Studio, you don't have to really buy. You can start simply using once you have a complete database with you. Now, before we start looking at Google Data Studio, let us have just some look at the Power BI tool. Just, and interestingly, if you see, the entire help is given on the website, and you have to simply follow the instructions and design the dashboard as it is. Just to tell you frankly, this particular dashboard I simply learned during the course of this pandemic and tried to implement at some of my clients' offices, and they are very happy with the results what they are getting. And needless to say, I started charging separately for that. So it is again has created us an opportunity to take your existing client up in the value chain. So if this is the Power BI tool which you can use, you can also use for designing a dashboard. But today we are not going to use this particular tool for designing a dashboard or to understand the dashboard. And what we are going to see is Google Data Studio. Now, when you have this Google Data Studio, and if you see, this is the screen, this is the opening screen of Google Data Studio. You can also see the help on the left hand side. So there is a navigation tool available, which is made available that. And if you see on the screen, the entire help is given by Google in steps. For example, the first step is interact with charts and tables, and then there is a help. Then second is the set the data and filter URL. So today, for the purpose of this particular webinar, I have designed a separate PPT which gives us the flow with which we are going to see, or with which we are going to look into the details of Google Data Studio. And let me share that screen with you. This presentation I have prepared, it is just taken from the help which is given, which is made available by Google Data Studio itself, by Google itself. So there is nothing which I have put on my own. I have simply tried to put forward in a most easiest manner so that every one of us can actually design data dashboard at the end of this particular session. And then at the end of session, we can decide whether if it interests you, then we can go for a separate workshop or not. So to start with Google Data Studio, when you want to design a data studio, what you need is the source data, or what data you want to use for designing a dashboard. So today what I have done, I have sample data which is again made available by Google itself. So I am going to use that sample data. That sample data, how we are going to use that sample data with the help of Google Data Studio and design dashboard. Now, before we start actually process, let us see what is that Google Data Studio and what is the interface of that Google Data Studio. So this is the interface. Say, for example, if you want to start designing a dashboard, you have to start here. This is the Data Studio, the first page, reporting page, and then you can see here there are 3 tabs. First is reports, second is data sources, and third is Explorer. Today we are not going to look at the Explorer. We are going to concentrate more on the report, which produces a dashboard, and second is the data source. I'm going to show you the dashboard which is already designed, and then we will see if we want to use existing data to build this kind of dashboard, what are the steps which are involved, and then we will see one by one all the steps which are required to be adopted to design this kind of dashboard. This is the interactive dashboard. That means you can simply hover around the pages and individual charts, and you can see the live figures, as we saw live figures relating to COVID in case of Zoho Analytics. Now here, this is the dummy data of a European retail store, which I have used for designing this particular dashboard. Now here, this data dashboard is mainly focusing on the financial data of that particular store, Euromart stores. This is the dummy name which I have used, and these are the figures which are given or which are actually extracted from the database which is running behind this report. Now, there are certain patterns or certain types of these visuals we are going to see while we deal with each and every steps. So this dashboard, how to use this dashboard? Say, for example, you can see here there is a drop-down menu which can allow you to select a particular date range. Say, for example, this dashboard is completely related with the entire database, covering entire date range, means whatever available in that data, this report is prepared. Now I want to simply filter this. What I can do, I can here there is a, you can see one option which is auto date range. So instead of that, if I have to select
Makarand sir, sorry to disturb you. सर स्क्रीन फ्रीज झालेला दिसतोय, एकदा जरा रिफ्रेश करता का सिस्टीम?
ओके. आवाज येतोय ना?
एक मिनिट हा, डिस्प्ले नाही. हा सर, आता बरोबर आहे.
येतो.
Yes sir, you can continue now.
Now you can see the dashboard, correct?
Yes.
Now this is the dashboard. I think you might not have seen this dashboard before because there was some error. Now this dashboard is related to a dummy company called Euromart, and this data is again a dummy which is made available by Google itself. So this data is used. Now here you can see, you can select so for example, this is the total sales for the entire period is 2.3 million. The currency here is a dollar. So now what is that data range? Or if I want to select the data range for a particular year, then I can select last. So I'm selecting the period now from June 11 to June. Since it is a dummy data, this is older data. So now I am applying a data range because of which the entire figure, entire dashboard is changed. Earlier the figure of sales was different. Now since it is the 1st January 2011 to 31st December 2013, or if we take say 1 year, 1st January 13 to 31st December. So this is the yearly data. Now here I can simply select, instead of fixed, previous year, the last year. The entire figure will change. So the result is changed. And that is why it is called interactive dashboard. So this is not a static. Since for this particular period of a previous period, there is no data, everything is blank. So I have selected auto date range. Okay. So this is the dashboard, and you can see there are many data visuals which are incorporated in this dashboard. So now let's, after looking at this, if we want to build this kind of dashboard, what are the basics? What is the tool? What is the technique which is available, and for which we will see this report. Now let us go in edit mode. And by going into edit mode, we can see the same dashboard which we can customize. Now from this dashboard, we will go to the blank dashboard. Now this is the blank uh, uh, dashboard, blank report. So let us start building some sort of dashboard by incorporating or using the data source. Now, how you can connect the data source? The first option is to create first report and then import data into that report, or build a data source and then connect the data, that data stores, and then build the report. So now let us, from reports, if we say create a blank report, you will see a dashboard, blank dashboard. Now here, automatically, it will prompt you to connect to the data. Now, what are the options which are available? Which sort of data you can use? Now here you will see there are standard Google data connectors which can be used with the help of Google Data Studio. And there you can see Google Sheets, which is very common, and again it comes free of cost with the help of Google account. So let us select Google Sheets. Now what I have done, I have already stored one data from the Excel in Google Sheet, and you can see this. There is one spreadsheet called Euro Stores data. Now once you select this, you can add this data and you can establish a connection between this data source and the report which we are going to design. Now while you go ahead here, you can see there are a few options here. First option is the use first row as headers and include hidden and filtered cells. What is the use of this? Say for example, if you have a spreadsheet in which certain cells, certain rows and certain columns are hidden, or the data is filtered, then if you do not tick this particular option, then whatever is visible in that data will get only connected with this particular report. And that is why it is very essential to include the entire data to set that particular relationship with the report. And that is why this is very important. Now if I click add, you will see the entire data connection will be set, and now whatever data available in that Google Sheet, Google spreadsheet is established. Now when the data is added, automatically a report, a standard report is generated or standard table is generated. And if you click on this particular table on the right hand side, you will see the complete table which actually help you in designing the report, designing the dashboard. Okay, so I hope I'm audible and the report is visible. Hello. So here we have a report. Now we want to add a title, and before we start actually looking, start building a database, let us see what are options available in this particular design mode. What is the navigation of this particular report? Now you just click on the file. You can say, you can set the settings, you can see the history, and then I think most of these menus are self-explanatory. You really don't need explanation to most of this. Here you can see editing, then you can paste. So all the commands which normally you can use in Excel or Google spreadsheet are used here. So there is no programming knowledge is required to build this kind of data dashboard. So you have to simply concentrate on the data available in your hand and start building using this kind of, say, report generator. and this report will automatically get converted into a dashboard, and which you can simply share with this people. If you see, there is a share button, and what all other menus are there. So when you click on this particular down arrow, you can invite people to use this report. Then you can schedule a email delivery of this particular design report on a particular date at a particular time. In addition to that, you can get a link of that particular report, which you can incorporate and send it via WhatsApp or any other social media. In addition to that, if you want to host this kind of report or this dashboard in your intranet or extranet or on your website, then you can get the embedded code which you can incorporate. And in addition to that, you can simply download this report in the form of PDF to circulate by way of email or any other mode. Now, here you can see you can have view mode and edit mode. So you can toggle between these two modes, view mode and edit mode. When you see view mode, you will see the report, which is a plain table kind of say, and you can see three dots, or then you can see here down arrows which you can interact with. This particular arrow, black arrow here, is a kind of say sorting tool available to the user. If I click this, then all the records which are counted on the basis of order are getting sorted in ascending order, and that is why number 1 is on the top. Now, before we start designing, because unless we understand data, we will not be in a position to design the data. So let us go in edit mode, and how we can see the data, what is the source data, what is the structure of data, what are the elements of that data, what are the fields which are available. And now here you can see there is a tab called add data. Because we already have added the data and established a connection between that data and this report, we don't have to really add the data. Instead, we have to see the resources behind this particular report. And here there is a menu which is called manage added data sources. So if you click this here, you can see which are the data sources available for this particular report. Now here you see whatever Excel sheet we converted into Google spreadsheet and imported and established in this report is visible here. Now if you click here, now here you can see edit, duplicate, remove, and make reusable. Okay, so if you click on edit, you can see the structure of that particular table and the type of that particular data. Say for example, discount. What are the fields? There is a discount, there is a profit, there is a sales, category, city, count. So you can imagine what a sales data of a retail store will look like. Now, if you want to see this particular data in the form of spreadsheet, you can see that I have already created a shortcut of that Google spreadsheet. So I can click here, and this is the structure, or this is the spreadsheet. So can you see this spreadsheet, which is used as a source data for this particular dashboard which we are going to build? Okay, so this is where you can see there is the order ID, then there is order date, then the customer name, country, state, city, region, segment, shipping mode, category of the product, subcategory of the product, name of the product, discount which is offered or with which that particular order is booked, then what is the sale value, what is the profit. Now here if you see, the profit is already arrived at, means the data is so clean that data profitability is already calculated. When you want to design a report with the help of database, you need to actually have proper working and arrive at this kind of field. Now then there is a quantity and then there is a feedback. So this is the structure of database spreadsheet. Now let us go back to our report, designing the report, and see how we can see this particular Google spreadsheet in our reporting format or report as a data source. Now whatever we could see in the form of Excel sheet or Google spreadsheet is appearing here in the form of table and the structure of table. Now once you understand which are the fields which can be used to generate a report, it is easier for us to design the report. Now let us go back to the report. So we are on the report page and we are at the edit mode. So this is the table. Now if we, this is the table. Now what all options are available for us to design a report, which you can see next to this particular tab called add data. There is one tab called add a chart, and if you click here on the down arrow, you can see what are the data visuals and tables you can incorporate in your report. Okay, so here we have already a table, a standard report, which we can say a default report. When you establish a connection between the data with the report. So this is the table which is a default report. Now if let us start working and understand the concept, basic concept of design with the help of this standard table. Now what are the how we are going to use this table? Now on the right hand side you will see the structure or the help or the table which will help you in establishing or designing the structure. Now let us go one by one. Now there are two tabs. One is the data tab and second is the style tab. So let us first concentrate on the data tab. Now what is the data source? Now here you will see, which we have already selected. This is the data source. If you click here, then you can actually go to the edit mode. Okay, so we have already established a connection. Below that there is a tab called blend data, but today we are not going to look at this particular option, because today we are going to concentrate mainly on simple dashboard design. What you can imagine, what is the meaning of this data blend? That means when you want to make use of two or more database and in one particular dashboard, then you can blend those two databases. Rather than mixing two databases, we can make parallel use of two independent databases in one single report by blending those two data. Now interestingly, there are two basic concepts of any report or a dashboard, which is called a dimension. And the default dimension is the date range. Means when you want to design a report, obviously you will be designing it for a particular time period, and that is why the default dimension of any dashboard is a date. And that is why when you create a table, by default, date range dimension is already there. Now, if you see why here, there is a already captured field called order date. Because if you see the data, that is the only date field available in the database. And because of only one available date field, the Google smartly has chosen or picked up that date as a default data range dimension. If you come down and see dimension, then you will see the dimension. Those who have used pivot tables in Excel or in Google Sheet can imagine and understand this concept of dimensions and matrix very easily. Say here, what is the dimension? If you come back to our table, here the first column is relating to order ID and second column is related to record count. What does this mean? For this order ID, the record number is so and so. Okay. Now, if we want to change this thing and we want to see, instead of record count, I want to add some value, or I want to add a number. I want to see some figure here. Then what I have to do? You come back here on the design structure. On the dimension, you have order ID, and then there is a concept called metric, which means on what basis you want to design this particular, on what dimension you want to analyze, you want to check, you want to see the result. Now here, by default, the metric is record count. Now, since record count is a numeric field, here you see a tab which is a kind of say edit tab. If you click here, then it is automatically picked up because it's a number. So aggregation method which they have used is automatic. So, but for designing report point of view, from designing dashboard point of view, this record count is of no use. So I will change this particular metric. So from the default options available, now I will change both the dimension and metric. So what dimension I want to add? So let us see, I will add sales as a dimension. So I will simply drag and put it here on the, sorry, not on the date here. Now I have added sales as a data dimension. So you can see sales count is there and record count is there. Now I add another matrix. Say, for example, instead of sale as a dimension, I will bring sale to matrix and say region or category as my dimension. And now if by bringing category as dimension and sale as matrix, I could get this table. What does this mean? There are 3 types of categories in this business, and the sale of each category is so and so. Now, if you look at this particular metric, you can configure this column. Now, next to before this metric field, there is one edit tab. If you click on this, you can have so many aggregation methods available for designing our data. Now let us go by simple sum. And what this particular table shows, there are 3 categories and sale of all 3 categories is so and so. Now this, we are in edit mode. Let us go in view mode. So how the report can be visible to a user. So this is the view mode. Okay, so let us come back to the edit mode, and if you click on this table, again you will see the designing pan or the designing tools available for us. Okay, so should I move ahead? Okay, so now here, if we go on looking at each and every tabs or option available, you can see here the date range dimension is there, which is a by default date base report. So this entire dimension is by default. Now we have category as a dimension. Now if you want to change the structure of report, and we want to see the region wise sale, I simply will have to bring region here to in place of category, and now I can see the region wise sales. Okay, now if I want to add another dimension to this report, you can see here there is one tab called add dimension. Okay, so I want to see now region wise data with category. So I bring category here. Now I see region, a category, and a sale. Now if you see whether this report is of some meaning, because if you see for each category there are 3 separate rows. Okay, now how to deal with this situation we will see when we look at the concept of drill down and drill up. So next to dimension there is a concept. So what we have done, we have added a category or region as a dimension. We have matrix, added a sale as a matrix. So all numerical figures in terms of sale can be visible here classified into categories and region. Now if I uh, activate this drill down menu, let us see what happens. Now the moment I activate this drill down button, I can see only region and sales. So what is the when we have two fields under dimension, I can see only sales. So let us go in view mode and see what is the result. Now here you will see one down arrow here. So this helps you in drilling down the report. Now if you compare this particular task of designing dashboard with Excel, what is the difference? All this you can do in Excel using pivot tables, correct? But the data which you are using is not dynamic, is not real time, it is a static data. Unless you are establishing a connection with the data which is residing on the cloud, and you have specified a expanding data range in that Excel sheet, and that is the basic difference between reports which are designed and developed using Excel and reports designed by way of data dashboards. Now here, so you got the importance of drill down. Now here you can see the default drill down level. So here you can see the region and the category. So when there is a region, if you want to change this region to category, you can select this category, and now if you see the report, the drilling will be on the basis of, you can, here you see the category, and now you can drill up rather than drill down. So you can go up and see. Now here you can drill down. So we again come back to edit, and you see here the drilling. So this is the, now here how to make use of all these facilities, tools which are available in this kind of reporting tool is very important, and probably that requires some kind of understanding of data and some sort of skill, knowledge and wisdom to put data at use. And I'm sure we, being chartered accountants, are masters of data. We understand data better than any other, and that is why having good hand over this kind of table can really add a good value to the reporting what we are doing, either in case of internal audit or in case of helping our client in designing the MIS. So here, now you see this particular table, very simple data. Now next to this data you have a style. Now if you click on the style, what you can see, there is a tab called conditional formatting. Means what? Let us add a rule. What is that rule? This is a single color. Now you can add a rule, and then you can create some sort of conditional formatting, which is similar to the concept of conditional formatting in case of Excel. But again, why I am time and again comparing this tool with Excel, because in yesterday's survey, most of the people who said that they are already using some sort of database tool, they have, majority of them are using Excel as data analysis tool, and that is why. So if you have good working experience, good working hand with Excel, I'm sure designing a dashboard for you will not be a task itself for you. It is just a matter of shifting data from Excel to this kind of database tool and simply go on designing. Now, as I go ahead with different menus and tools available for designing the dashboard, you will come to know this is nothing but advanced version and very easy to use version of Excel, or for that matter any other spreadsheet tool available in the market. Now here the rule what I can establish key, when the sale is greater than, say, 5 lakhs, this is the format rule. Okay, so this is the rule. So this is the condition which I am adding. So this is the rule, and now what you want result? The entire row should be blue, or entire row, so the whole conditioning formatting will be applicable to the row. So that is how you can highlight the data of sales which is more than 5 lakhs. Okay, now here you can also choose the color of that font, and whether you want to also change the background. So now if I save this, you can see all these 3 fields which are more than 50,000 are highlighted here. So this is the way you can go on adding styles to your table. Next, conditional formatting, there is a table header, then there is a table colors. Here you can see, if you don't want to see the header, you can simply unselect this. Now if you see in the view mode, this is the report, and this is how you can go on designing the data dashboard. So again, come back to the edit. Now select the table in the style. Now what additional feature you can say? Now in dimension you can attach a drill down option. Let us deactivate that drill down option. and see what else we can play around matrix. Now here there is a matrix, okay, and let us move a category, or let us move the region. So we have only, and in case of that table, this tile, let us reset that tile. So at the bottom you can reset the report to the theme. Or I will simply delete this row. Now, as you go on using this kind of database, dashboard designing tool, I'm sure the experience will only give you the complete expertise over this tool. So now again, come back to the data tab and see. So we have now here category as dimension and sales as matrix. What else is there? Now I want to add another matrix as optional matrix. What is the possible? What is the possible? So I add profit as optional matrix. Now let us see what change is there in our report. Now here at the edit mode, I cannot see any change. But if I go to view mode, I see there is a category and there is a sale. And at the top of this table, I can see optional metrics button. And if I click on this, I can see additional field profit. So if I select this, then in the report, I can see sales as well as profit both. So this is the use of tool called adding optional matrix. Now, if you go downwards and start experimenting with each and every tool or menu available or designing tool available, I'm sure you can start getting complete insight into this tool. Now let us go. What are those tools available? Now, if you want to restrict number of rows per page, you can select here. Instead of 100, let us have only 10 or only 5. So you can see only 5. Now here I changed the category from category to subcategory so that I can see more numbers and more detailed report. So I have added subcategory as my dimension and sales is the figure. Now if I see sub report, I can see subcategory, and if I see the profit, I can see 5 rows subcategory wise and sales and profit. Come back to edit mode. See, I want to increase number of items which can be seen. I select 10. Now immediately I can see, because here if I increase the size, I can see 10. I click on view, I can see now since there are more than 10 categories, you can see the pagination here, and you can go on clicking here in that report, and then you can see. So this is the simplest table which can be designed and incorporated in our dashboard. Now let us us go on exploring more things, more tools available here. So next to the rows per page, you can see the summary row. So you simply click here and you can see at the bottom grand total. Let us go in view mode. You can see the grand total. So when you are experimenting and when you are designing dashboard on your own after this particular session, what you have to do, simply load the data in this particular tool, Google Data Studio, and start experimenting, start playing around with the options available. And since the data is residing on the cloud in the form of Google Sheet, whatever you are doing, the original data will not be affected. So experimentation is at no cost. So I'm sure after this session, you all will be playing around this tool, and I'm sure you will be adding great joy to your designing assignment. Now here, after summary row, you can see the menu of sorting. What is the importance? And as the name suggests, you can sort on the basis of metric, which is the sales, and then the options are ascending or descending. By default there is a descending, but you can change it to ascending, and the moment you click this button, your table throws sales figure in ascending order. So you can also add secondary sort. Okay, so when you want to say, let us add subcategory as a secondary sort and see what is available, or what change that data is bringing. And let us see view. So you can see it is in descending format. So this is the result. Come back again to the design mode. And what next? So from sort, then you can have a secondary sort. And then there is a menu called default date range. Now, since what does this mean? This particular report is considering automatically the entire date range of the data available. So whatever database is giving you period, the entire period is considered here. Now, if you want to change this, and if you want to make this particular report only for the month, only for the year, though the data may be having for the entire period, you can select and customize the date range. So you click here and you can see from auto date range, you can select the custom range, and here you can select and set the range. So auto range, you can select fixed. So if you select fixed, select the date, go into the, since the data is old, I select only 2001, select 1st January 13 to 31st December 13. So it is for the one calendar year. Now you can see here the sales are different. So categories are same, sale figures are there, and here you can add a comparison date here also. So here you have a default range, and then you can add a comparison date. And very interestingly, if you click on this, here you say there is none, so there is no comparison. And if you want to add a comparison, naturally you have 2-3 options. Either you can select a fixed period, or previous period, means the previous period relating to that that fixed period which we have selected. So from 1st January 13 to 31st December 13. Now if I select here previous period and press apply, I can see now one more column is added, which is a incremental figure. So the comparison is automatically generated, and if you see the view mode, you can see the sales, and compared to previous selected fixed period, current sale is decreased by 5.70%. So this is the fun of playing around with different options available with this tool. Now here there is a concept called filter. What is that filter? Let us add as a filter. Now you can create a filter. Now you have to first give a name to the filter. So on what basis you want to filter this data? So let us now stop here and move ahead. We will use this particular feature in our next topic. Okay. So now next to filter, there is one more menu called interaction. Now, what is the use of this interaction or filter? Now, if we go back to the already design report, I can explain the use of filter and interaction using that data. So let us go from this report to already already designed data dashboard. Now here, this is the filter. These are two filters which I have created here. Region. So if I add here filter, now how we can check this and how we can see. Now since this report is in view mode, if we go in edit mode and if we select this particular visual, all tools related with this visual will start appearing here. Now here, if you go down here you can see there is no filter also here, but this itself is control. Okay, so that's how you can check the use of each and everything. Say for example here, and what is the interaction? See for this sales, what is the interaction here? For this visual, yeah, interaction is here. So if you see this feature on this visual, I have applied interaction, means whatever filter which are created there will get applied to this visual and all other visuals available on this particular dashboard. Just to give, let us see it in view mode. What does this mean? Say for example here, at present the data dashboard is giving the entire default date range data. Now I want to see sales related with only one region. So what option I have? Now I will select only South region here. If I click here on the South, the entire report gets filtered on the basis of selected parameter, and you can see here all figures are changed. So this is called interactive filtered report, and this is possible to build with the help of the tab. If you again go into edit mode, you select the visual and see the data tab here or the design tab here, and if you go down, so whatever we just saw in the design mode, you can very well compare it in a completed design dashboard, the use of that. So it is all about design. Due to some time constraint, I will not go in detailed design of dashboard. So that is why I have taken example of design dashboard and then taking you to the design steps. Okay, so Now again, we go back to our uh, untitled report, which we started designing. So this is the report which we left halfway. So let us go in edit mode, and what other things we can apply here, or what other things we can see here. So here we have simply added a table. Now I want to add one more table here for comparison purpose. So what I will do, I will select from the chart, and now here you can see there is a table, then there is a scorecard, then there is a time series chart. So let us, from table, what just now we designed is a table. Now let us go for a scorecard. So let us select this scorecard and see how a scorecard can be used for database, data dashboard. So now I will click here. So by default, here the sales is sale of that particular period is appearing here. Now I want to, I'm in design mode. So if I click on this particular table or this particular square, I can see all the database or designing tools available relating to this visual, which ultimately will exist. Now let us see here. What is the sale? What are, so here the date dimension, default dimension is date range. Default matrix is sale, and here default date range is automatically selected. So now if I want to add optional matrix here, so what sales, I will add profit to this, and let us see what is visible. So here on the database, let us bring it down so that it will be visible prominently. Now here, if I click on this, I can see here one small button. If I click here, I can say profit. I can say toggle between sales and profit. So this is the optional matrix. So in a dashboard, in a scorecard, earlier I was looking at sales. By adding one optional matrix, I can add profit to the same visual. Now if I go back to design edit mode and click, now if I want to add a color, etc., this is possible using the style tab. Okay, so here what options apart from conditional formatting, so you can compact the number. What this compacting number means earlier it was in absolute terms. Now you can see the sale is appearing in the compact format. So I can simply compact here. So the sale is 2.3 million. Okay. So next to that, you can see missing data. So there is no data here. We'll see that at a later stage. Then you can have labels. You can select the font color, you can select the font size, you can select the, so all formatting functions which are otherwise available in Excel, you can use. So when you say scorecard, it is nothing but a cell of an Excel sheet, and you have formulated that cell making use of data design tools available. Now you can change the format, so alignment, etc. So everything you can change. Interestingly, if you go back to the basic report, you will see here there are ready-made themes and layouts available. Okay, so if you want to make use of ready-made themes and layouts, you can simply select this text default rather than default. Let us go for this. Now if you apply this, you can see the change in the view mode. So you can see the changes which are captured by the database. So that this is how this easily you can actually design a dashboard. So once we have scorecard, now how the scorecard can be put to use let us go back to the design report, okay, and see how uh, creatively or innovatively or simply it is put to use. So all these tiles here appearing in the blue, green or color is nothing but a scorecard which gives you sales, 2.3 million profit, etc., etc. So this is the use of scorecard. So now let us go back to our report under design and see what is the next option available as a visual, which you can use in uh, dashboard. So let us see next chart. So from the scorecard, you can have time series, you can have bar chart. So all next things are, you can say, graphical presentation of the data. Now let us see, let us go back to the table and what other two options are available. So let us select these tables with bar, okay. And so again, when you want to add a new visual or new table, it by default considers the default dimension and matrix. So I want to now make use of this particular tool, which is table with bar. So you can imagine this is the table and this is table with bar. Now let us assume कि I want to convert this table into table with bar. So what option I have with me? So I can simply go to this table. So this is the way with which you can create a table first and then modify it to, or you can simply add a table with bar, but or alternatively you can simply convert the existing table into table with bar. So I will delete this here, simply select and delete, so that is gone. Now what I can do, I will duplicate this particular table. So Control C and Control V, the same command which we normally use in Excel. So now here I want to change this table from table to table with bar. So I will simply go here and select table with bars. Now you can see the difference between this. And then you can also imagine how innovatively, aesthetically you can make use of different tools and visuals available with this. Now there is one more option available, which is, let us Control C, Control V. So and change these two. So what is that? So you can see the bar, there is a color code scheme available in the table. So there are 2-3 options, ready-made options given by the Google itself in the table menu, or you can design one table, simple plain table, and convert that into different options. So your efforts are minimized here. Okay. So now what we have seen table, we have seen scorecard. Let us see what next. Now here, after scorecard, there is a time series. So instead of time series, now let us concentrate, because time series, in a way, it is very easy. It is nothing but representation of data on the basis of time horizon. So, but just for the sake of it, let us have this time series and build it here. So now you just imagine this is date is the time horizon, and the sales is on the y-axis. Okay, I can change this. Come back to chart. Since I can go to the design mode, and instead of order date, what I can do, I can change this order date. Since order date is the lowest possible unit available on the time flow, so instead of this, so now let us see how you can convert, or how you can make this report, which is auto generated by Google Studio, a readable one. So let us convert from, let us change this representation from date to some other criteria. So what option is available? So on the dimension on the left hand side, you can see the calendar, and if you just hover on this particular area, you can see the edit. So if you click edit here, you can see the date. If you click the date, you can say day and time. If you select the date and time, on the left hand side, you can see year, month. So let us say, or quarter, or something there. So you can imagine how you can simply convert this default report into a readable report. So let us say year and month. The moment you select, the whole data time series chart is changed. Got it? So this is the time series. And now if you want to add a style to this, from data tab, you have to simply go to style, and then you can add background color, change what is the bar. So you can convert this into bar also. Say here, and this is nothing but, if you see, there is a bar chart also. So you can convert a timeline chart into bar chart simply by changing the style. That is the shortest way. You have standard way, and then there are shortcuts, like we have many such shortcuts in Excel. So here you can, what other styles are available, you can click once you when you click on the cumulative, the data is plotted on time series on the basis of cumulative figures. You can add show points. So everything is possible, and that is why I say when you are conversant with using Excel, shifting from Excel to Google Data Studio is very easy. And you can now, by now you must have imagined how easy it must be to simply start using Google Data Studio at no cost, with the help of free tool made available by Google. Okay, so now from this visual, now just to save some time, I have not added any styles to these reports. I simply use the data so that we can cover more and more facilities and tools available. So next is, now from time series you can go into bar. Let us select pie chart. You can imagine. So this is simply selecting the tool. Once you have set the relationship, established the relationship with the data source with the Google Studio, Google on its own intelligently creates default reports, and then you have to simply customize it to suit your requirement. So this is the report, and is what Google by default has selected. By default, dimension is category and matrix is sale. Now if I want to change this matrix from sale to profit, I simply have to drag this profit and bring it to sale. So now the pie chart, what I can see here is the profitability in terms of percentage according to the subcategories. I can see the view mode. All these reports which we have designed till now can be seen visibly. Now just remember, if our data was a live data, you can imagine the use of this data and what. So you have to be very creative, you have to be very innovative while designing these visuals and the purpose for which you are designing this database, the user for whom you are designing this database. So I think you are all expert and masters in understanding the use of this kind of database. So my job is very simple here, just to give you some insight, some input on using, and rather I'm requesting all of you to start using this kind of tool, especially Google Data Studio, because it is free of cost and you don't have to do anything. You already have lot of other tools like say Microsoft Excel. I hope all those copies are not pirated one. If it is pirated, then just forget what I just said. But if you have, if you don't have Excel, then you can simply use Google Sheet, again a free tool made available by Google. So you have to simply understand which are the tools available in the market and how to make maximum use of these tools. Now here if you see, now my page is almost filled. So what I can do, I can simply add one page. So a fresh page is prepared, generated, and now I can go on adding a different chart. So let us now see a very interesting feature, the Google field map. Okay, so here this is the default report. When you select this report, what Google has done, Google has intelligently looked into the data. It has generated a field which is suitable for this map, Google map, which is going to be a field map. And this map is filled with the data, the dimension, the metric which we assign to that. Say for example, I want to see from this report, I want to show to my management or to my user spread of my sale or the geographical market share or geographical presence of my products. So what I can do, I can simply bring sales to the metric, and you just see what has changed. Now let us go into the view mode, and since this data is of Europe, you will see figures only relating to Europe. If this data was extended or this database was spreading across the globe, you could have seen. Now here, if you click on the particular country from the Europe, you can see the sales figure. Now you can zoom in and zoom out. So let us zoom in. So go into the edit mode and increase the size of the chart. Now this is, now if you want to see what was the sale in Sweden, simply click on the Sweden. You can see the sales figure in absolute terms. So this is how you can make use of Google Map. Now you just imagine when Google on its own looking at the data and the name of country can generate this sort of report which can be visible. You can imagine the user friendliness and ease to operate with this kind of tool. So next, let us add one more page. Or we just simply go back and reduce the size of this table. Okay. So what is the next option available? From Google Map, you can create a geo chart. This is from Google Map also you can create a geo chart. Then you can create a line chart. Then you can create area. Then you can also have scatter diagram. And now from this, if we have to go to the next option, pivot table, then we first must need to understand what is the need to have pivot table option when you already have table option. Okay, so you just go back to the table what we have designed initially, on the page 1. Now here, if you see the table, what I can see, can I add another dimension to row or to column? That is not possible in a table mode. And that is the exact use of pivot table. When you want to add another dimension to your row or to your column, you can simply make use of pivot table. Okay, so it is very important to understand usage of all the options available, when to use these tools and when not to use. And that is why I always call, when you are doing something, or when you are discharging your professional duties after certain year, when you are experienced, your simply knowledge and experience is of no use. You have to simply put to use the wisdom. Now if you ask me what is the difference in the lighter when I can compare wisdom, and I can explain the wisdom with the one very good example. Say for example, if you ask ki, uh, whether tomato is fruit or vegetable, so everyone will say ki it is a fruit, or someone may say it is a vegetable. So you first need to have information, you have to get informed, you should become knowledgeable first whether tomato is fruit or vegetable. So once you get information and you are knowledgeable that tomato is a fruit, then the real wisdom will start coming into play. When you say tomato is a fruit, whether you will use it in fruit salad or not, or whether you will not use it in. So when to use and when not to use your knowledge and experience and information is the real wisdom. And I think you all are clever and better experienced than me to make use of wisdom while designing this dashboard. Okay, so from the chart, let us see now what all other options are available. Okay, so you have a geo chart, you have a line chart, area chart. I think there is no need to explain all these charts because we are expert in designing charts in Excel. So the same thing is here, the same formatting skills, everything is applicable. Only thing is that since you have a dynamic data connection with digital dashboards on the cloud, it is very easy to share that report. You can simply access rather than sending. If you want to send a data dashboard designed in Excel, you have to every time send that file to the user. Here you have to simply share the link and the report. And Excel dashboard is not dynamic, is not real time, unless under certain circumstances it can be made dynamic and real time, but it is not easily made dynamic and real time. So first, before we go on, let us have pivot table. Okay, so I will go to page and let us set up here a pivot table. And how we are going to, so again here by default the row dimension is country. Okay, so from there I will bring a subcategory as my row dimension, and then add region as second dimension, add sales as my matrix, which is already there. So I profit as my second dimension. Now here, if you see, the segment I will remove. I will order ID is by default column dimension. So column, I will bring sales and profit. On row, I have subcategory and region. So now date range, order date is dimension is order date. Since the data is too much, I will convert it into, I will apply the date range here. Custom date range, fixed, since everything is online, you can see here there is some time lag in applying these. Now here you can see there are expand, collapse. If you activate this default, so all functions which otherwise you can perform under table, you can perform. Now here, if you see press view, you can see here on row level, you have one button for expanding. So if you click here, now the report is expanded. Now again, go back to edit and expand this report, and you can add, go to style, and for data, adjust the row number. So grand total, so subtotals, grand total. So all things which otherwise can be done under the pivot table option of Excel, all these things can be performed here. So after looking at this, let's see the next tab. What is this? This tab is called community visualization and components. But at this stage, since it is the beginning of understanding what that data dashboards, we will at this stage we will not consider it. I will just explain. When you have a database made which is made available freely or shared with the community, then you can add some components related to that community to that database, and you can assign rights of viewing a particular report or editing the report using this particular tab, the community visualization and other components. So next to that, what you have is control. Before that, let us see all small tabs which are available. Now this is the URL embedded. So a particular component you can bring from dynamic URL to this your report. Say for example, you want to add a link to your report. So someone clicks onto that link, he can, from the report itself, he can view that link. So you can add a picture here, image here, you can add a text box here. You can add a line and you can shape. So these are all kind of say formatting tools which are made available by the Google Data Studio in while you design that dashboard. Now after that, let us see controls. What is the meaning of control? So till then, till now, we have seen a simple way of designing table and different charts using the data connected to Google Data Studio, which was primarily available in Excel, which we converted into Google Sheet. So, so should we move ahead?
Yes, sir.
So, okay. So it is going all as expected, or
Yes, sir. You can continue.
okay, okay, okay. So now let us go back to our tale and see. Now, before that, do you want me to explain how to convert Excel into Google spreadsheet? I think that it is pretty simple. You simply open any Google Sheet, and then you can simply import a file, and then you can browse the folder and select the Excel sheet which is residing in your computer. So I think let us go ahead, and will not spend time on explaining how to import Excel sheet into Euro. Now someone has asked whether can we use DAX and encode in Google Data Studio? Yes, it is at advanced stage. So I think person who has asked this question must be either ISA qualified or CISA qualified. So interesting thing, there is one more comment here, Nitin Sada. Just taking a pause at the designing database, how we can use this dashboard kind of tool for bringing tally or bringing for by using data which is available in tally kind of accounting software. I think you can simply imagine all the day book, all the stock books, all sales register, you can simply export to Excel. And once the tally data is available to you in the Excel, using the data date range functions of tally, you can export the data. More, not just that, if at all you want to establish, because since tally is a ODBC connectivity, having a feature of ODBC connectivity, you can directly set relationship, you can directly set the connection between tally data and Google data using the ODBC connectivity. But for that, someone may have to have some additional knowledge of setting or using ODBC connectivity and some configuration tools. So my point is here that uh, if at all you want to make use of tally data which is already available you for many years, you can simply make use of tally data to showcase what you can do with this kind of tool to give additional insight to your client and to yourself also while you are auditing. So it is, in my opinion, very effective tool and very interesting and very useful tool. I am very that way at very later stage of my practice started using this tool. So all the youngsters which are very techno savvy members can start putting to use all these kind of tools which are available readily and free of cost in the market, particularly courtesy Google. I think for them this can be an additional opportunity the profession. So now coming back to our data design dashboard design thing. Now let us look at the controls which we can uh, add to our report. Okay, so let us move this table to this corner. And see this next tab, add control. Now, under add control, you can see there is a drop down list. Then you can have fixed size list. Then you can have input box. Then you can have advanced filter. Then you have a slider, tick box, date range control, and data control. All these controls you can incorporate in the database with an objective to make that data dashboard interactive. Let us go back to the basic table here, designed on the page table, and see how controls can be applied on these tools, on these visuals. Now I will add a drop down list. Now what I can see here, all my reports which are appearing on this page can be controlled using this particular tool. So let us bring this report here. Pardon me, the report what I'm showing you is not aesthetically good because it is just I'm trying to explain you the usage, but while you actually are designing, you have to be very neat and clear while formatting the reports. So now let us see on this page you have added this control. Now how to make use of this control, let us see. Now here I have added a control. Now here you can see in the view mode you can have a down arrow here. So let us click here. What you can see, and here you can see different subcategory related. Now you unselect this and select only bookcases and copies. Now you see all the reports, all the visuals appearing on that page will get filtered, will get controlled using this control. So this is the use of control. Okay. So coming back to the design mode, let us, in order to have a better effect, let us delete some of the reports, some of the visuals, so that we can now let us see the next control. So you can imagine now here, if you want to add this control again, on the right hand side you can see there is a data. You can add all other functionalities which we have seen in the table. You can add the custom field, you can add the matrix, you can add the dimension to this subcategory. You can change the style, the way you want to make it look at the time of visual, say header, tick boxes, label, etc., etc. So all style sort of formatting tools can be used here. So today only we will be concentrating on the functionality to be attached to the report. So subcategory from the this first control of drop down list, let us see fixed size list. Okay, so add this fixed size list here. Now, interestingly, as a shortcut, what I can do, I have this subcategory. I will have Control C and Control V. Here from drop down list, I can simply change it to fixed size list. And what is the meaning of this? Let us see in view. Now here you can type the fixed category which you want to search. So here you can see a search box where you can type. Now you have to remember this is a case sensitive. So simply if you type copier and press enter, since here profit is not appearing in the table, we can't see the share. That is why we need to change the dimension here. So instead of profit, we have to bring it sales here. It's taking some time. So primarily you can imagine, we'll not spend much time on that. Let us go in the design mode. So fixed, yeah. So what other options are available? You can have advanced filter here. You can have slider here. Let us see what is the slider here. So let us insert input box. For that, by now you must have realized and understood it is very essential and important to have a complete understanding of data, database structure, the design of database. Otherwise, you can imagine what can be the efforts which you need to put in. Now when I entered copiers here, the result is empty because it is a case sensitive. Now if I just change it to copiers, now I can see the result. Okay, so this is the input box tool, input box level control. Now next is, let us see slider. what is the use of slider. Now I want to see this, visualize this data on the basis of some parameter. Now what is that parameter? If I simply slide this data and apply a data range to this, my report will change. Now what does this report indicates? I want to see sale figures of my subcategory to which discount is in the range of point so and so range. So this slider makes this particular report interactive with the help of any criteria which you can set. Now instead of discount, you can have another thing. So this is the slider. And now let us go back and see how I have made this use in the standard report which I have prepared, Euromart dashboard, where I have used this. Now here you can see these are the sliders. These are the controls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 are the controls. Now here I want to see the report where the profit is in the range of say 0 and above. So all my visuals will change accordingly. So these are the sliders. So you can now innovatively make use of these two. Okay, so again going back to our untitled report, so which we can change. So these are the uses of different types of control. Now you have a tick box. You can have date range control. You can have data control. Okay. So now here we will take a pause and see how this particular dashboard can be used, or if we want to use this dashboard for connecting two or more databases, and how to design that. So for that, instead of designing a new, because it may require more time, so I will, to explain that, I will make use of existing already designed data dashboard, and there we can see how the data blending has happened over there. Or with the help of that, I can explain you how to blend the data. So let us go into edit mode. Or let us create another report. For example, I am creating another report to explain you how to blend the data. Now here you can see this is the data relating with population, states, and count. So these are the states. So on the dimension you have states, and let us have on population as matrix. So this is the table which you can see. Now here I want to add a dimension, a second dimension, or blend the data. How it is possible? So let us go back to the data source, managed data source. Now this is the data source. Just edit this. Now here data, edit data connection, data blend, and now fields. Now here you will see there are two worksheets. One is population and second is area. There are two worksheets here. Now, how to make use of two worksheets in a single report? Now here I will blend the data. Now here, if you see, data source is this source where you can have one or more worksheets. Now here, by going into a blended data mode, you can see world population, and then you can, using two different data source, you can design a table. Now here in first table you have only country and population, but you can add a dimension from different blended data. So it is bit complex really at this stage to understand, but if you go on experimenting, I'm sure you can identify how to build a database. Okay, so I think already it is 6:30, so I have taken much time. So uh, uh, with the permission of Rakesh and Rajesh, I think we should stop here. If you want to have any question or something like that, you can discuss, or otherwise on the basis of this, if you feel there is a need, separate need to have a workshop. But my personal opinion is that if at all there is a need, we can conduct, but we are also used to work with Excel. There was a need, in my opinion, just to make you aware that this sort of tool is available, which is very user friendly and very simple to use. So start using. You will learn by experimenting. That's all. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to share some of the learnings which I have learned during the period of last 1.5 year. You can say this is a learning during pandemic.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Members, if anybody is having any query, you can ask by unmuting yourself, or you can put it in a chat box also. Okay, I don't think so, sir. There will be any query.
And I'm also not very sure I can explain those questions very comfortably. But still, my purpose was to give some sort of insight to this tool. I think that is the purpose is served.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, this is a very interesting, something different from regular what we do. So it was very interesting. And there, members, if anybody is having any query, put it in the chat box, or we will move forward with our formal vote of thanks part. Okay, sir, I don't think so. There is any query, so let's move forward. Thank you very much, Makarand sir, for guiding us on a topic which is very interesting, though it is not in by for regular use, but it's very interesting, and I'm sure now lots of members who have attended this session will start using creating that dashboard for their client for AMS reporting. Thank you very much for inviting our invitation and giving such a interesting lecture for us. Thank you very much. I thanks all the participants for their patient hearing. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Session is over now. Thank you.